When you think of a missionary, what do you visualize? A Bible-toting evangelist, wearing a safari suit and pith helmet, living in a hut?
I think of a dynamic preacher, establishing churches and converting many to Christianity.
Well, I think of a teacher in a small Bible school, a nurse or doctor saving lives in the bush.
You know, neither one of us fits any of those categories, Jody. Ever since I was in college, I felt called to missions. But how can God use us?
There must be something we can do, Kevin.
We discovered God did have a special plan, just for us. He called us to Sierra Leone, West Africa. As the Wesleyan Mission business manager and hostess, a ministry of serving God's servants. Sierra Leone is located near the equator on the west coast of Africa. It's a rather small country, about the size of South Carolina, with a population close to 4 million. The Wesleyan Church has just completed 100 years of mission involvement and is a growing, established church. There are over 100 churches in 6 districts, with 96 pastors and 12,000 members.
We live in the capital city of Freetown, which has a population of over 500,000. Freetown is the only port of entry for Sierra Leone, and all supplies must enter the country there. Kevin's job as business manager involves meeting the needs of the other 20 Wesleyan missionaries who are stationed in the northern part of the country, as well as working with the Wesleyan Church of Sierra Leone.
At first it seemed like all I was doing was clearing shipments at the port, obtaining work permits, visas, and licenses at various government offices. But then I realized since I was doing all this, I was actually helping the work at the hospital, the dispensaries, the Bible school and college, and other mission stations. The people there could do their work of ministry because of me.
Keeping a house in Sierra Leone took on a whole new meaning for me. I learned about being a servant through hostessing people in our home and managing the mission guest house across town. Each day for us seemed to hold something different. It started usually at 7:30 a.m. when it was time for our morning radio contact. Today there was a request for fuel order in McKinney and some wicks for the kerosene refrigerators at Kamakwi Hospital. One of the nurses was requesting some eggs and a dental appointment to be made. The mission coordinator in McKinney was planning to come to town to discuss mission finances with Kevin and needed a place to stay.
Then there was a message to Jody to change airline reservations for someone's trip home. I think for the 10th time. One thing we've learned and are learning is to be very flexible.
We are thankful for some truly dedicated Sierra Leonean helpers. Abu Bangura is Kevin's right-hand man. He assists Kevin with much of the daily activities in town, such as trips to the post office, clearing of the shipments at the port, and obtaining necessary documents from government authorities. Besides Abu's work at the mission, he is an outstanding layman at the nearby Lumley Wesleyan Church. Abu is part of the hope for the future nationalization of the mission work. He too is learning the role of becoming God's servant.
We usually have a list of things to do each day. But even though our day seems to be well planned, there are always interruptions. There is the waiting. There is the unexpected. At times you just count it as an added lesson in patience.
The evening finds us involved in separate meetings at the Lumley Wesleyan Church. Kevin serves on the local church board and the finance committee, while I help the women with singing and various craft projects. Each week we have the youth of the church over to our house for a Bible study. It's been exciting to see the spiritual growth in their lives, especially those who have come from a Muslim background. After the meetings, the day is still not over. Kevin usually spends many more hours working on the missions books. While Kevin works in the office, I try to catch up on correspondence and care for Megan.
One of the blessings and great challenges of this term has been the addition of our little red-headed Megan Marie. She was born in January of '89 at our mission hospital in Kamakwi. One of her favorites is our dog Dinah. If you ever want to learn about servanthood, caring for a baby is a good learning experience.
Many times, just when we're ready for bed, we hear a knock at the door.
Kong Kong. Kong Kong, Mrs. I get fine feast for you.
Oh, it's Victoria, the fish lady. And instead of going to bed, I find myself packaging and putting fish into the freezer. It's not only the fish woman, but we have many other unexpected visitors who need our help.
Opportunities for service also include opportunities for ministry. Mission workers have devotions and prayer together every morning.
During the day, there are opportunities to share with them and answer questions they have about the Bible, which is a challenge for me as well. To me, it seems almost impossible to be able to grow as a Christian without reading the Bible. Yet the literacy rate in Sierra Leone is only 11%. So I've set a personal goal of teaching our pastor's wife to read. Women's Institute and the Pastor's Wives Retreat are the big events in the lives of Wesleyan women in Sierra Leone. As missionary women, we are asked to teach the various classes held throughout the week-long meetings. Topics covered are health, hygiene, child care, homemaking, responsibilities of a pastor's wife, and cultural challenges to their faith.
Sometimes I get so busy in the office or in business that I don't feel like a missionary. But the Lord gives me the chance to witness in town with various businessmen from a variety of religious backgrounds.
Because of the high cost of public transportation, one of our ministries has been to help people by giving them rides. We also use this as an opportunity to witness and hand out gospel tracts.
Serving God's servants involves the integration of the mission and the church. Goals for the future include moving key Sierra Leoneans into greater roles of leadership. As part of the 2000 by 2000 program, the Wesleyan Church in Sierra Leone plans to have 75 additional churches by the end of the century. This will require even greater numbers of national leaders.
In order to meet this challenge, both the Bendembu Bible School in the Northern Province and Sierra Leone Bible College near Freetown have programs which have been expanded and upgraded. Today, there are 32 students preparing for full-time Christian service at these schools.
Many people ask how they can help us.
Prayer support is a vital link between the missionary and the home church. Both Kevin and I have felt the power of prayer during times of illness, discouragement, and the frustrations of daily life. Keep up to date by subscribing to Wesleyan World Magazine and by calling Wesleyana Phone. We depend on you, our prayer partners, for the success of our ministry.
You can give. With the ever-increasing inflation in third world countries, the high cost of air travel, medical insurance, and vehicle transportation, missionary support is needed now more than ever.
You can go. There are many opportunities through Wesleyan World Missions for short-term service overseas. Work teams and other volunteers have made significant contributions to the work in Sierra Leone. Come join us.
Now, when you think of a missionary, what do you visualize? God wants to use you in a special way. See yourself as God's servant.